Welcome on back, Rattler here, to another episode of Lone Star Wrangler Football. It's time to advance through the offseason of the new year, the year 2023. We'll see how the returning athletes train up and welcome new student athletes to campus. But first, we got to announce our award winners. The Lone Star Wrangler fans have spoken, and this year's Lone Star Award winners are, on offense, wide receiver Corey Moss. He had a great year. He had 65 catches for 901 yards, averaging 13.8 yards a catch. He had 10 touchdowns and he had a long of 45. Corey Moss only had 3 drops on the year, which means he was a solid clutch pass catcher. He's gotten better every year he's played for us. He only had 5 total touchdowns before this year, and he doubled that in one season. He's got 15 on the career. He's primed and ready for a great senior year as our star wide receiver. Our goal is to get him 1,000 yards receiving in his senior campaign. On the defensive side of the ball, the 2022 Lone Star Award goes to Granger the Law McGraw. He had 103 tackles, 94 of them solo, 9 assisted tackles, 17 tackles for loss. He had 1 interception, 1 pass defense, and 3 sacks in his 2022 campaign. He was a finalist for the Bednarik Award and Best Linebacker Award. In 2 years as the Wranglers' starting linebacker, he has 144 total tackles, 3 sacks, 3 interceptions, 25 tackles for loss. He's a great leader in the middle of the field for the defense. He looks to bring home some national hardware next year. He'll take home this Lone Star Award with pride and cherish it for years to come. During the offseason, Lone Star University offers Rusty Westwood a contract extension. They want to add another 5 years to our contract. Betcha, we're signing that. Lone Star goes through some coaching changes and signs Charlie Wise as the new offensive coordinator. Chris Fogarty decides to leave Houston. He got a new job. Lone Star also signs Mario Williams to an extension. Been doing a great job as a defensive coordinator. Defense is one of our strong points of the team. And Chris Fogarty moves upstate to North Texas to be the head coach. That's going to make that game a lot more interesting when we play them every year. North Texas just became another rival. We have 2 wide receivers that want to transfer. True freshman Rusty Shackelford wants to transfer, and Colt Winchester, our 4th wide receiver, wants to transfer. Can't talk Colt Winchester into staying, despite being one of our starting wide receivers. Like, is he heading to Nebraska? Gonna get playing time in Nebraska? All right. Rusty Shackelford, we got to keep him here. And he's heading to New Mexico State. We just lost 2 wide receivers. Good thing we recruited some. But more importantly, we lost some seniors this year. Our punter, Matt O'Rourke, had a great career as a punter for the Lone Star Wranglers. He leaves Lone Star with a 36-yard punt average. He punted 120 times in the past 3 seasons. His net average was 28.7, though. His longest punt of his career was 56. He had 13 punts inside the 20-yard line. Let's not forget what he did on the rushing game. Over the course of his career, he has 109 yards of total rushing, averages 5.7 a rush. He'll be remembered for getting some key first downs in his career as a Lone Star Wrangler punter. It'll be hard to replace him just doing that. Actually, it probably won't be. We'll probably get a faster punter next year. At least a better kicker, that's for sure. And Johnny Reynolds, he had a short 2-year career as the starting strong safety, but he played lights out. He walks away from the Lone Star campus with 125 tackles, 15 of them for a loss, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions. 2 of those were taken back for touchdowns, 5 pass deflections, and 2 fumble recoveries. Actually, I think one of those fumble recoveries was a touchdown. I can't remember. We'll remember his touchdowns right here. Let's go. Two graduating seniors and 2 transfers. That'll make cutting down a little bit easier. Matt O'Rourke was not drafted into the NFL. He was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Houston Texans, though. He will try out as their starting punter at this year's camp. Transfer requests. We take all transfers. North Texas quarterback David Shaw, true freshman, means I think we'll be able to redshirt him. He's a 64 overall. He wants to come to Lone Star University. We take all transfers. We got scholarships to give. We'll take them. That means we got 2 scholarships left to hand out in our off-season recruiting. Let's see who we can sign. All right, these are the 2 scholarships we're going to try to get. Hopefully we can beat out Arkansas State with 7,000 points. Derek Richards signs with just under 3,000 points. Let's advance the week and see how our recruiting class look after National Signing Day. And there it is. We get the players we want. Derek Richards, a 69 overall wide receiver. Nice. He commits to the team. And Pat Gray, a 68 overall left tackle, commits to the team. Be a great starting left tackle in years to come. Now let's move on to position changes. Matt Schneider was a 72 overall athlete. He slots in as a 75 overall true freshman wide receiver. He'll be redshirting this year along with Marshall Mays and Derek Richard. And then we got a new stable of starting wide receivers after Corey Miles, big play Bobby Haynes, and Gamma Lee graduate next year. And we're going to get a lot faster on the outside. Look at this. 92 speed, 92 speed, 89 speed. Another position change. We had 4 middle linebacker recruits this year. So we moved Josh Snyder. He only has 69 speed, so we moved him to right end. He'll redshirt there and compete for playing time after that. Another athlete on the board. Clarence Hamilton was a 73 overall JUCO athlete, but he moves up to a 76 overall defensive tackle. He's got 79 strength and 76 speed. We'll look at seeing if we can redshirt him, and then he'll slide in there as the starting defensive tackle after Pierre graduates next year. Moved Richard Steele from middle linebacker to left outside linebacker. Look at that. The hometown boy from Houston, Texas will be challenging Granger McGraw for the next couple years for playing time. 81 speed at the middle of the field. I like that. Chris Franklin, another one of our athletes. He's a JUCO transfer. He was a 70 overall athlete. Now he's a 71 overall strong safety. He'll be competing for the starting strong safety job now that Johnny Reynolds has left. We move our incoming freshman kicker Chris Banks from Washington, D.C. to over to punter. 77 overall punter, didn't lose anything. J.J. Bolden, he's a 65 overall athlete. He slots in as a 65 overall fullback. You can immediately start at fullback. We'll probably redshirt him though. That's our position changes for this offseason. All right, let's go through training and see how well our team improves. Looking at the quarterbacks, they're still both 74 overalls. Local Marshall, 74. Powell went up in 1 speed. Marshall gains 4 awareness. Powell's been a 99 awareness, I think, for the last 2 seasons. But Powell gained 5 accuracy. That should help. Only 1 power. Local Marshall's got the better arm, of course. He's got 80 throwing power, 83 throwing accuracy. But Powell is the Lone Star University all-time leading passer now. He's led us to 2 great seasons in a row. We're going to stick with Powell as a starter this year, even though Local Marshall is probably the better quarterback. But what we're going to do is we'll likely redshirt Marshall. They'll give him 2 years to start after Powell closes out his senior year this year. To look for Local Marshall be the starter in the next season. Looking at the running backs, Clyde Simpson goes up a whole 6 points. He's 93 speed now. John Hart, 72 overall now after +5. He's got 92 speed. And then Burns and Fogarty both go up to 65 overalls. We finally got a player that's over 80 overall on the offense. Clyde Simpson should have a great year as the starting running back. On to the fullbacks, Henry and Padilla, both of them above the 60 now. Henry's at 63, Padilla's at 60 overall. At wide receiver, Moss goes up 4. He's a 78 overall. Big play Bobby Haynes is now a 74 overall with +4. Moss gained 2 speed. That's nice. He's up to 82 now. It'll still be a season or so until we get a wide receiver starting with 90+ speed. Hey, we love these seniors on the Wranglers right now. Can't wait to see the season Moss, Haynes, and Lee have. At tight end, Lawless goes up 4. Butch Irvin goes up 5. He's a 64 overall now. Across the offensive line, Noah Rivers +4, 73. Billy Bob Jenkins +6, 74. Doc Hollandaise +6, 71. Peter Beater +6, 72. Right behind is Pancho Villa +6, 71. And Horace Diamond +5, 72. Finally, our starting offensive line is all 70 pluses, so that's nice. At left end, Phil Brown outtrains Buck Wild to hold on to the starting left end spot. He's a senior, of course, so we'll like to see him start anyways. +5, he's up to 65 overall. +1 in speed. speed. That'll be nice. Buck Rhinestone +4. He's up to 70 overall. Behind him, Isaac McIntyre and Lance Roberts at 64 overall. Defensive tackle, Alan Pierre's up to 75 overall with a +6. Chris Dukes is a 70 overall with a +4. Big Jim Neely +6. Finally breaks the 60 threshold. Can you believe Big Jim Neely was our star player on defense the first season of our program's history? And now he's the 61 overall. Owen Steele +4. He's a 71 overall. Right behind him, Michael Mudd, redshirt freshman +4. He's a 70 overall. Ranger McGraw +5, 73 overall. Dexter McClintock +4, 72 overall. Ooh, he's up to 90 speed. That's nice at the linebacker spot. Probably one of the fastest guys on our defense, to be truthful. All right, look at the corner spots. We got Colt Smith-Wesson at the #1 corner, +4, 74. Gunnar Cannon was actually our best interceptor last year. He's +5 at 71. Our slot corner, Marshall Wyatt, who's pretty good at interceptions as well. He's a +5. He's up to 70 overall. Behind him, we got some redshirt freshmen. Scoots McShoots, a returner. He's down there at 67 overall, +1 in speed. At free safety, Arthur Morgan, our star player, 84 overall with a +5. Still gonna be the best player on the team. Our new starting strong safety, Andrew Weston, +4. He's a 72 overall. He's actually slower than our outside linebacker. He only 81 speed. Matt Henry, our kicker, goes up to 75 overall, +5. Let's see how much kicking power he's got now. All right, he went up +6 in kicking power, +5 in accuracy. Not bad. He might be able to kick that 46-yarder we need him to now. All in all, that's our improvements. Arthur Morgan's the best player on the team. Right behind him is Clyde Simpson. Both of them are juniors. Only 2 players, at least returning, that are 80 overall plus. All right, we're going to have a lot of cuts to make. I think we got to have close to 100 players on the team now. Let's see where we're at. 91 players on the roster. We got to cut it down to 70. We got to find 21 players to cut. Oh, man, this is going to be a process. In a surprise development, Steamboat Sammy Fogarty decides over the summer he is going to transfer to North Texas to go play with his dad, the new head coach at North Texas. Steamboat Sammy is going to follow him to North Texas. He's got 1 year to sit out in redshirt, play his senior year for his dad next season if his dad holds on to the job. We'll see him in 2 years as the North Texas starting running back. Sad to see Steamboat Sammy go, but you know what? Family's family. While Sammy may not have been the best athlete in the world, he was a great running back for the Lone Star Wranglers. In 3 years on the Lone Stars campus, he had 836 yards rushing, 14 total touchdowns. To go along with that, he also had 540 yards receiving on 83 catches and 3 receiving touchdowns. We will always remember Steamboat Sammy Fogarty for his head full of steam runs. Let's look back on his illustrious career. Number 32, Steamboat Sammy Fogarty. The Neely brothers and their cousin all transferred to North Texas as well. John Neely, Jim Neely, and Jack Neely. Jonathan Thousand's getting cut. He's too slow. Cut Ryan Campbell. Probably end up over at North Texas as well. We're going to have to cut loose another wide receiver for sure. And I think it's going to be Chico Gonzalez. He's just a little too slow. And he's probably not going to see much playing time. I'd rather have Malcolm Tyree get in there. Brell Taylor's got younger players in front of him. We're going to have to cut him loose. Jake Braun only played a couple snaps. He's not going to see the light of day in 59 speed. We're going to have to cut him loose. Sadly, we're going to have to say goodbye to Dusty Bluebonnet. He was decent in the 1 year he started for us. We redshirted him last year, hoping he developed, beat for some playing time. He's not going to see that playing time with a bunch of people in front of him. We're going to cut Craig Goff. He hasn't done much since the first season. We use an extra fullback at tight end, likely Padilla, since he's got the best hands. Lance Roberts. He's been here a while. Got a sack. Hello?
Hey, when you come, will you bring me a vanilla Coke?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Lance Roberts, he's been here a while, but you know what? We got better players younger than him. He's got his degree. See ya, Lance. Unfortunately, Brady Washington made the campus, but he was unable to make the team through summer camp, getting cut. Travis Williams also made it to campus, but they have better players ahead of him. Got to make the cut there. Well as Josh Snyder, better players ahead of him. We got to make the cut there. And now we're cut down to 70 overall players. That's our team. It was tough to cut 21 players, but we had to do it. Some of them haven't seen playing time for a while. Some of them likely won't ever see playing time if they stick on the roster, so we cut them all loose. We'll probably see some of these players in a familiar face after they transfer to North Texas. Alright, now we may be a 3-star team in-game, but I put some new rules on the team to make this more challenging, because I do not believe we should be a 3-star school just because we won the conference once. So we are still a 2-star school, and in order to qualify to be a 3-star school in our own rule book, our own house rule, we have to have a running back rush for 1,000 yards and a wide receiver catch for 1,000 yards. That means for this season, we're still a 2-star team because we have yet to have a 1,000-yard receiver and running back. We were close last year with Moss. Our recruiting means nothing but 2 stars or less, but we do get 1 3-star offense, 1 3-star defense, and then 1 unlimited athlete no matter what. Those rules in mind, here's who we're going after this year. There are 3 top 3 athletes on the board. Justin Daugherty, 78 overall athlete. David Williams, a 74 overall tackle. And Charles Harley, a 73 overall defensive end. Now let's go over our schedule for this season. Here's how it's looking. We'll start off week 2. We play Houston at Reliance Stadium. Neutral site game. Technically a home game for us. Our second game of the season, playing Texas again, because our rule is we got to play the highest ranked Texas school. And this year it's Texas again after winning 2 back-to-back national titles. You'd think they'd be number 1 overall. Our third game of the season, it's a rematch of our last bowl game. We're going to see if we can get revenge over the Missouri Tigers. They'll come to Houston for a revenge game. And then our rivalry game to close out non-conference play. We're heading down to Fort Worth to take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Let's see if we can finally beat our rival. And then it's conference play. We're at home against Florida International. We're on the road against Florida Atlantic. We're at home against North Texas. We're on the road against Southern Miss. We're at home against UTEP. We're on the road against UTSA. We're at home against Louisiana Tech. And we're across town at Rice for the final game of the season. There's our schedule for this year. Let's go get another Conference USA title and maybe upset some teams in non-conference play. Let's go. Let's check the preseason polls. Let's see who makes the top 10 and see where the Wranglers end up. A familiar face at the top, Georgia. Seems like they've been preseason 1 for the last 3 seasons. They're number 1 to start the year. Minnesota's right there at number 2. And Texas, back-to-back national championship winners, still getting no respect in the preseason polls. They start off the year number 3. No longer a 99 overall, just a 95. Looks like their defense took a hit. We'll find out how good they are this year in a couple weeks. Ole Miss at number 4. Michigan number 5. Clemson 6. Notre Dame 7. Ohio State 8. Miami 9. And Oregon is 10. Let's see where the Wranglers end up. Here we are. A 70 overall, 72 offense, 70 defense, and we're ranked 62 in the nation to start the year. What Conference USA teams are ahead of us? Western Kentucky's 35th. They're 81 overall this year. I think that's the only team in the Conference USA that's got a preseason ranking higher than us. Alright, let's look at the conference outlook. Where are they projecting us to end up in the conference? Looks like they got us winning the Conference USA West, which means we're likely second, of course, to Western Kentucky in the Conference USA overall. Right behind us, though, nipping at our heels, the UTEP Miners. They were tough last year. At least they had a good record last year. We kind of made quick work of them in our game against them. Still no team higher than 83 overall in the Conference USA. Makes our schedule pretty easy, but we're still building this dynasty, so the difficulty's not too bad. The Heisman Watch. Before we hit this button, do you think Ramon Powell's going to be on the Heisman Watch as a senior? He's not. Michigan's quarterback's at the top. South Carolina's quarterback's right below him. Miami's quarterback's right there. Texas got a good running back. Illinois has got a quarterback on the list. All right, let's see the preseason All-Americans. How many of the Wranglers got this year? Ranger McGraw, preseason first-team All-NCAA at middle linebacker. He's going to bring the law all year long. And at cornerback, first-team All-American Gunnar Cannon. And at free safety, first-team All-American Arthur Morgan. We love to see that. Our defense getting some respect here in the preseason. Now, do we have any second-teamers? Nobody on the second team. Let's look at All-Conference USA players. Wait, do we have all freshmen? All right, first-team All-Conference USA. Can you believe it? He's a 74 overall as a true senior. Ramon Powell. He's first-team All-Conference USA quarterback. Bill Brown, he brings him down. He's first-team All-Conference USA left end. Of course, Granger McGraw, first-team All-Conference USA middle linebacker. Dexter, the 12-gauge McClintock. He's first-team All-Conference All-Conference USA right outside linebacker. Then, of course, Gunnar Cannon's there at cornerback. Not to be outdone, first-team All-Conference USA cornerback Marshall Wyatt. And look at that, the senior Mark Henry. He's first-team All-Conference USA kicker. What do we got on the second team? Clyde Simpson, second-team halfback. Let's go. Corey Moss, second-team wide receiver. Robbie Lawless, second-team tight end. No offensive lineman on the board. Got Chris Dukes at second-team All-Conference USA defensive tackle. Let's go. And that rounds out our All-Conference USA players. We're getting some respect finally. I mean, that's what happens when you win a conference championship, right? All right, let's welcome the new students to campus. At quarterback, number 3, Trigger Trey Jackson. At halfback, number 35, Buck and Buckaroo. At fullback, number 32, Felix Blood Turner. At wide receiver, number 82, Marty Quick Draw Morrison. At wide receiver, number 80, Marcel Mays. At wide receiver, number 89, Montana Bullock. At left tackle, Enrique Dirty Sanchez. At center, Randy Bulldozer Davidson. At left end, number 90, D. Hunter. At right end, number 95, Colt Doc Holliday. At defensive tackle, number 98, Ruben Crazy Al Durango. At defensive tackle, number 96, Jim Big Boom Kadri. At defensive tackle, number 91, Propane Hank Hill. At left outside linebacker, Phil Diagony. At middle linebacker, Red Mad Dog Harlow. At middle linebacker, Willie Pecos Bill. At cornerback, number 21, Wiley Doyle. At cornerback, number 25, Colt Hunter. At free safety, Arthur Duke Dixon. At strong safety, number 23, Roy Bullseye Boone. At strong safety, number 34, Greg Hello Kitty McGritty. And at punter, number 13, Timmy the Toad Thompson. Let's welcome all the new students to campus for this season. I look forward to see how they develop and grow as students and athletes here at Lone Star University. Let's go. And that does it for this episode of Lone Star Wrangler Football. Next time we face off against the Houston Cougars in Reliance Stadium to open up the 2023 season, a rivalry game in the heart of Houston. Don't miss it. Until then, folks, remember, don't drink downstream from the herd.